Hello everybody, it is your favorite delusional artist, Claudia, over at Colorful Creations, and we are back with part 2 of our Barely Hanging on Flower Pot Friends tutorial. We are doing our second flower pot friend, and this flower pot friend, I'm going to have his legs pointed downwards instead of forward because he's going to be hanging off of our flower pot. Super cute, right? So now the difference with this guy and this other guy is we are going to be cutting a longer arm for his one arm that's going to be hanging off of the flower pot. So I just measured about an inch of armature wire for the arm that's going to be hanging, and I did half an inch for the ones that are poking into the body. So the reason why you want a full inch is because you're going to want to bend the armature wire over the terracotta pot like so. That way your figurine can hang off of the pot. Now you don't want to make your armature completely snug to the pot. You want it to be quite loose fitting, because once you add the clay, you will be adding some girth to the armature, and that will take up the wasted space. Adding clay to armature also is the biggest pain in the butt, I find, so it just takes some patience and some smushing and smushing and more smushing. So now that I have the shape that I'm looking for and I like, I'm just going to take my little mushroom arm and smooth it all out, and I'm taking the end of my poker tool to make it round in the middle, and then I'm putting it onto the terracotta pot, and now I'm going to be squeezing it a little bit more so the clay is nice and snug to the terracotta pot. Then we're going to be popping this arm on the right side of our figurine, and it will hang off like so. Now that we got all of our arms and legs onto our figurine, we're just going to smooth them all out and close all of the seams. I'm smoothing the seams out with my poker tool. I'm also super new to YouTube and making tutorials, so any constructive criticism is greatly welcome and I accept all of it, and I would also really appreciate a like, subscribe, and a follow. So now that all of our seams are done, we are going to be moving on to adding our eyes, and I like them to be really big like always. So first I go in with a smaller daughter tool, and then I go in with a larger one just to make those eyes bigger. Now I'm taking some black clay and rolling it up into 2 little balls, and these are going to be his little eyes that are going to go into those eye sockets we just made. I'm picking them up with my poker tool and placing them inside the eye sockets like so, and then I'm smoothing them out with the end of my daughter tool. Now we are going to be going in with all of those cute little highlights. This is my favorite part, even though it's also the most annoying part because I'm choosing to do this all with clay, and using acrylic paints would make this process go by so much faster, but I'm picky. I also love a good challenge. So I'm just using my circle cutters from my circle cutter set to get the circles out that I want for the glimmers of light inside his deep dark eyes. And then I'm taking my daughter tool and smoothing them out so they're nice and flat. I like to add 3 little glimmers of light in my eyes. You can add 2, you can add 1, you can add whatever you like. It's just a personal preference. Art is totally and completely subjective. Do what you want, have fun with it. Now I'm just grabbing some pink out to add his cute little cheeks, and I love adding cheeks to my figurines and the glimmers of light. I think it just pulls everything together really nicely, and I love cute, perfect things. I don't know, it's just who I am. I'm crazy. I'm your favorite delusional artist. And now we're gonna be adding his cute little bum bum, and then we're smoothing it out with the tips of our thumbs, like we did with our other mushroom. This just makes the bum look a little bit more like a bum and less harsh. So now that we got the figurines onto our clay pot, how we like it, we are going to start making their mushroom caps. I'm just conditioning some clay right now. Does anyone else's thumbs get sore from conditioning clay? Because mine do. My left thumb especially is extremely sore from conditioning clay. And now we got our mushroom caps started. They're not thin, they're flat, but they're not thin. I left them quite thick. They don't need to be really thin. And now we're just grabbing some red out. I believe this red is in the shade Pomegranate. Like always, I am using Sculpypremo. I did recently just get my hands on some Sculpy souffle, and I'm super excited to try it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna match the red cap to the same size, about the same size, to the white underbelly part of the mushroom. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can easily just make it as even as you possibly can get it, and take a razor like I'm doing right here and cutting off the excess. Then what you're going to want to do is take your circle cutters and take 2 different sizes of circle cutters. I took a fairly larger one and then a fairly smaller one, just so the sizes were very obviously different, and just cut some little circles into the top of your red mushroom cap. Once you're finished, you're going to take that red mushroom cap and place it on top of the white underbelly of your mushroom cap. Oops. And you're just going to press it on as firmly as you can get it. And then after you've pressed it on, you can just take your razor and round everything all out again, just so everything's nice and even. If you flip your mushroom cap over so the white is exposed, you can kind of see where the red is poking out, and you want to cut all of those hanging off red bits off. Now we're going to take our poker tool and we're just going to use the tip of it to start scratching, fraying, whatever you would like to call this technique, the ends of our mushroom cap. So I started on the outside of my mushroom cap with the fringes, and then I slowly started moving my way to the middle of the inside of my mushroom cap. I do turn my mushroom cap every time I finish a section, just because it helps keep everything nice and even. I'm now going to use some Sculpey Bacon Bond and put a little glob of that in the middle of my mushroom cap, and this is just going to help secure the mushroom cap to our little mushroom. And there you have it, one little mushroom done. Well, almost done. We still have to add some blush to those cheeks. The butt cheeks. So now we are going to do the same process again for our second mushroom man. And all I'm doing is rolling out some more red clay in between my fingers, and I'm pressing it out flat with my thumb to my glass surface and keeping it as round as I can possibly keep it, matching the same size and shape as its underbelly that we had already made. Now that we got this part done, we are just going to take some more Sculpy Bacon Bond and we're going to put a glob of that just in the middle of our mushroom cap. Your mushroom cap doesn't have to be perfectly round. Mushrooms aren't perfect, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Coming from the person who tries to make everything perfect. So now we are almost done our mushrooms. The only thing we have left to do is add some blush to those little butt cheeks. I shaved off some light pink pastels and I'm dipping my Q-tip in it, and I'm just adding a little bit on the tip of each booty. Now that my cheeks are nice and blushed, I'm going to move in with some rubbing alcohol and clean up my sculptures. And there you have it. Your flower pot friends are ready to go in the oven. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe.